First off, thanks for having me. Appreciate Katrina inviting me and you ladies being here. How many of you watch the real estate shows on television? Flip This House, House Hunter, stuff like that. Okay, so a lot of you. How many of you believe that those shows are realistic? Okay, I'm sorry, they're not. I don't watch those shows, and the reason is I end up screaming at the television. Because I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I see people, and they make it sound so easy, right? You pick a house out of the MLS, you throw a little lipstick on it, it's sold in 3 days, you have a $60,000 profit, you move on to the next one. It just ain't that way. So what I want to talk about a little bit today is the reality of the rehab business. I buy existing homes that need something, provide that something to add value. Like a builder adds value by building a house on a lot, I add value by reconstructing a home that already exists and then provide that back to the market. So let's talk about the reality. A lot of people come to me when they find out what I do and say, oh, I've always wanted to do that. I've seen it on TV, it's easy, so I want to do that too. A lot of people try it. Very few of them succeed. Why is that? The reason for that is one of the most critical parts of my business is property selection, buying the right project. For instance, just because a house needs work does not mean that it's a good project for a rehabber to take on. Katrina and I had this conversation yesterday, I believe. She's got a house that needs about $40,000 worth of work. And when you have bought that house and put $40,000 into it, it's going to be worth about $40,000. The neighborhood won't support any more than that. That's not a good project. And that's something that a rehabber like myself always has to be careful about when they're buying. So, what am I looking for? When somebody brings me a project or I find a project out in the field, what am I looking for? In the most broad terms, I'm looking for profit. There's got to be a business reason for me to buy a house. It's a lot of fun rehabbing houses, but at the end of the day, we also like to eat, so we are looking for some way to make some money. Again, something I can add some value to and then make attractive to the market. So what determines profit? I have for years, you see the little bandit signs scattered around town, we buy houses. Most of those people are not actually buyers, they're out trying to get leads that they generate and then bring to people like me who do buy. So many of those people bring me what they think is just a smoking deal, and within about 30 seconds I determine that there's nothing there. I also have situations where realtors will bring me a deal. Oh, Chan, this is a great investment opportunity, and it isn't. So, what am I looking for? What are the things that determine this will be a good project? What is the most important rule of real estate? Real estate 101. Location. Location, location, location. Works in my business too. I'm looking for a house that's located in a normal neighborhood where normal people who can qualify for loans want to live, right? We've got to look at the end game. It's got to be something I can actually resell. So typically I'm looking for the worst house in that neighborhood, the diamond in the rough, the sow's ear that I can turn into a silk pearl. There are some areas that I won't even touch. Who knows the problems of town and country estates? Okay, built on an old, unregulated landfill. I won't buy in that area. Bad location. Fountain. Not that many people want to live in Fountain or East Callaway Heights. Sorry if anybody lives there, but there's not a huge resale market out there. You know, not many people want to live 2 blocks from the mill. So those are things that we're typically not looking at. We want to buy well-located, single-family houses, typically, that are going to retail around the median price. So we're looking at location. We're also looking for properties that have large and liquid resale markets. And the largest and most liquid resale market is always a single-family house. Not condos, not duplexes, not townhouses, nothing with common walls, single-family houses typically. And I think in Bay County, sometimes a mobile home on the land counts as a single-family house. I do some of those as well. And we're also looking typically for things that are going to retail around the median. How many of you love selling $40,000 and $50,000 houses? Lots of money in those, right? It's hard to make anything on them. So typically I'm looking for something that's going to retail above 100. Typically we're looking for something that's not going to be on the high end as well. There's not that much volume in Bay County in the $750,000 price range. So no money on the low end, too much risk on the upper end. Medium price ranges are always a good place to be. Then the condition, that's the next factor. How bad is the house? And I've taken on some pretty bad houses. We're doing a total burnout in Forest Park right now. Completely gutted the house to the exterior walls and slab, and roof systems being rebuilt, the whole thing. That's a pretty big project, but if the price is right, then we can do something like that. And then the fourth consideration is price. I actually make my money when I buy, not when I sell. If I pay too much for a rehab project, no amount of cost cutting on the rehab, no amount of prettying it up is going to salvage that deal. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking again, location, properties with a large and liquid market, primarily single family houses, the condition and the price. And typically, Katrina asked me to mention this, margins. Typically when I'm looking at a house, I'm going to take what I think that house is going to sell for at retail, knock 30% off of it, knock the repairs off of it, and that's going to be the cash price. That's just a basic rule of thumb, but it typically works. So with all that said, what can I do for you? What I can do for you is I can take your bad inventory. You've all had houses that have some sort of problem that's going to make it hard to sell. It's got a bad roof, it's got bad wiring, it's got bad plumbing, mold, termites, perhaps a distressed situation where it needs to go quickly. Those are situations where you should be calling me, because I can buy houses that the general public either can't or won't buy. Then we can make that sow's ear into a silk purse, put it back on the market, improve the neighborhood, and have a great house for new buyers.